The Marvel Cinematic Universe. Remember all of those great times in 2012 when the first Avengers movie came out. It was called the best movie the human race has ever brought out. It would be an epic, an opera, an example for what a perfect movie is and what perfect movies should be like in the future. And now 10 years later we can see we were kinda overreacting, especially because a few of the movies after that were actually a bit better, especially Infinity War for example. But I do remember the hype, seeing this movie in a theater with an entire audience, just so extremely excited to see where this Marvel Cinematic Universe was going. This ending of Phase 1 was one of the biggest experiences you could ever have witnessed and experienced in a theater. And with Phase 2 and Phase 3, Marvel showed that cinematic universes are not impossible. They're just really hard to get right. Look at DC. But what did Marvel so that their cinematic universe worked? Well, first of all, say what you want about the movies. I know a lot of film lovers don't like them, but genuinely, what no one can doubt is that they wrote some great characters. They wrote these characters that you actually cared about. And not so much that you could relate to, but characters that you could look up to. And my favorite has always been Captain America, because he is just so fantastic with the way he starts, this patriotic guy, and then at the end he's very doubtful of the government. He doesn't trust anybody anymore, and he still wants to do the right thing. But he realizes the system isn't always right. And the great build up to the last two movies, Infinity War and Endgame, yes, we will forget this one. Nothing had a build up of more than 20 movies. And it's nothing weird that this was the biggest movie of all time. And yes, we all know it's Avatar, but that's because of the re-release, let's be honest. And the great thing with the first three phases of Marvel is that we had the great with the bad. And what does that mean? When a movie was mediocre or just bad, like Thor: The Dark World, we didn't really care, because we still wanted to see what was gonna come after it. And when we finally saw those last two movies, I don't know about you, but I personally loved the ending of Endgame. I didn't like the rest of the movie, but it was the perfect ending for this cinematic universe. It wrapped everything up so beautifully, so perfectly, and I truly felt like this was the end of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Phase 4. Okay, listen, yeah. Right now we're in Phase 4 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and Phase 5 and a part of Phase 6 has just been announced at Comic-Con. And so far I'm quite confused by Phase 4. Listen, I love the Spider-Man movies, all of them that have come out. After Endgame, those two I love the most. But what are we building towards? That was the point of Phase 1. We were building up to the Avengers. But right now, I don't feel like, with this new Doctor Strange movie, with these two Spider-Man movies, that we are building towards anything. Even Shang-Chi that came out, that got a lot of critical praise, I didn't personally really like, but I expect him to have like this lead role in other movies. But even that movie made me wonder, where are we going? Because what kind of new characters do we have? I mean, Florence Pugh in Black Widow. I mean, I like the actress Florence Pugh, but the movie Black Widow was absolutely terrible. And I haven't seen the Eternals, but come on, nobody likes them, right? And then this random character, America, in Doctor Strange, like, she was the least interesting part about that movie. What I also really don't like about this Phase 4, they are just spamming TV shows that interchange with the Marvel movies. So I didn't see WandaVision, but it's quite important to know what happened in WandaVision to understand the new Doctor Strange. And I'm sorry, I'm not a huge fan of TV shows, so why would I watch them? So right now Phase 4 is leaving me with a lot of questions, and I hope I get the answer to them, but do I want to? Because the things they just announced I am very skeptical of. So they just released a trailer for Black Panther 2 and it's probably gonna be Shuri. And I don't know about you, I didn't like Black Panther. Even though I like the world, I didn't like the movie. But one thing I can't deny is that Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace, is the Black Panther. Nobody else. So I find it a little bit disrespectful that we are trying to create this new Black Panther, and I'm sure they have a very tasteful way of doing it in the movie because they don't want to disrespect this big actor that has tragically passed away. But if you really want to respect him, why not retire the character? And also a person that I think is gonna be quite a big part, and they have just announced another movie with them, is Brie Larson. And from what I know of, nobody likes her. I mean, she's a great actress in movies like Room, but I don't like her as Captain Marvel at all. And what the fuck is this Captain America movie? I know that the guy that plays Falcon is supposed to be now the new Captain America, but why are we just recycling these characters that aren't in the universe anymore? And why the hell are we making another Fantastic Four movie? Because everything got erased when John Krasinski did. I don't know, man, all of these new movies I'm not really that excited for, because it just seems like they are trying to make this new story, which is great, but the point is that Phase 1 was set up as a build-up for the new characters, and so far Phase 4 hasn't been about that at all. So are we gonna use Phase 5? But the point why Infinity War and Endgame were so satisfying was because there was more than a 10-year build-up towards them. So right now I just feel like Marvel are not making these movies anymore to like tell this big story and make money, of course. Right now, I just feel like they are doing this to make money. And we can kinda see that in the new Spider-Man movie by giving us everything we wanted. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but the movies that have come out so far, apart from No Way Home, haven't got the best reviews. All of the comic book nerds are excited for all of the new movies, but I'm thinking to myself, am I gonna invest all this time into watching all of these movies once again just to see the two new upcoming Avengers movies that are supposed to be coming out in the exact same year? Because why would we make two Avengers movies to conclude Phase 6? I get you don't have to do it the same way, but what was so satisfying about the Avengers movies, even though Age of Ultron wasn't all that great, there was time in between them so we could actually get excited for them. And like I said, I just feel my interest fading quickly because mediocre movies used to didn't really matter, because now I'm a bit older, I feel like they do, because we are getting these new characters like the Eternals, but if the characters suck, why would I care about them? I don't know what Marvel is doing. I don't know why they aren't gonna do a bit more standalone movies like I feel like with Spider-Man No Way Home, because I actually think that would work in their favor. But the point is then that you don't have this huge universe, so people don't have to see every single movie. So sometimes in the previous phases, mediocre movies like Captain Marvel, because it felt like it was part of that story, people went to go see it and it made over $1 billion, even though the movie wasn't good at all. So I get it from a business standpoint, but like I said, man, I can't be excited anymore for these upcoming Marvel movies, and that's very sad because I used to be so excited for them. But we shall see what the future will hold. I just feel like we are getting a lot more Disney Marvel than the Marvel movies I want to see. I hope you enjoyed that video. I made this video because I saw all of these new titles coming out after Comic-Con, and I must say, it feels like they are just spamming new movies just like they do with the shows now. So before people get sick and tired of these movies, At least they make a whole lot of new money. But the reason people are getting sick of these movies is because they are spamming them. And I don't know, man, I feel a lot of nostalgia when I look at the Marvel movies. Even though none of them are like masterpieces or anything, I still really enjoy watching them. And I think if people are like really cynical, oh, these aren't even movies, like Martin Scorsese said, I just think people don't look at what's good about them and just like to hate on them. So I want to make this video. Those were my thoughts. If you want to let me hear your thoughts, let me know down in the comments. And if you like this video, give this video a like. And if you want to see more, subscribe to my channel.